Hi guys, welcome to another Power Flow. Let's take a seat in an easy seat on the mat. I'm filming this early in the morning when my family is asleep, so forgive my scratchy voice. I got my tea. Hopefully that will help. If you have a block or something else that you can use for balance, like a low step stool or even a dumbbell that just brings the floor up a little higher, you may want one of those today. As we get to some forward folds, if you like a strap, you can grab that too, a strap or a sock. But let's come to an easy seat position. Cross-legged, as comfortable as that is for you. Root your hips down into the mat and sit up tall. And from here, let your eyes close and breathe. And take these first couple of moments to settle onto your mat and away from the rest of your day. Let go of what's already happened. Try not to let whatever's going to happen creep in either. As you find this tall, stable seat, really lengthen the breath. Notice your long inhales and your slow exhales. Feel that breath start to travel throughout your body, radiating from the center, right where your lungs are, and then moving outward, as far out as the fingertips, the toes, and the crown of the head. And let that breath prepare you for practice, and maybe even feel a bit more renewed, even if it's just for the next hour. And then just as your breath spread throughout the body, let your awareness travel there too. Notice where you might be holding on to some tension. Notice where you feel space and where you feel strong. Notice where you feel stable, where you feel balanced. We're going to call on that today as we move. And notice all of these things without any judgment. Start to enjoy the body that you have, the body you brought to the mat right now. As we eventually start to move, notice all the fantastic things that your arms, your legs, your core, your back, your head can do. And today there's lots of progression. So start to notice as you feel warmer and as you feel more confident, how the shapes change. You might be able to find more depth. You might just find more stability. As we move through the practice, notice how it changes in your body and in your mind. Notice your focus, as well as where the arms and the legs are and what they're doing. Let's breathe here just another moment. And then start to blink the eyes open. And we'll take a few seated twists. So coming to this, keeping this cross-legged position, maybe you even switch the cross of the legs just to even things out. Sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms up. And then as you exhale, we'll twist towards the left. So take your right hand to your left knee and take your left hand behind you. And without using a ton of strength, we'll start to just use the arm a little bit to deepen the twist. So don't pull really, really hard, but just use that arm to open up a little bit more into this twist. And we'll stay here a few breaths. If it feels good on the right side of the neck, you might even look back. Notice if you feel yourself leaning back a whole lot, and just try to minimize that. Good. Now notice the grip. Can you soften it here? Even take the back of the hand to the knee instead. And as you inhale, come back through center. You can reach up if it feels good. And then take the other side. So the left hand to the right knee. The right shoulder draws back. Soften the elbows slightly. And let the breath continue to be long and steady as it travels through you here. Using just enough strength of the arm to deepen the twist slightly and mildly. Now notice the grip of this left hand. You might take the back of the left hand to the outside of your knee instead. And just notice how that changes the shape. Good, start to make your way back through center. We'll do that 2 more times. The breathing in to reach up if that feels good. And then twist towards the left. We'll stay for 3. Count your own breaths, 2 more. And then just 1 more time. Use your inhale to bring you back to center. Reset and then twist. 2 more. And then 1 more time. Come back through center. Maybe reach up, maybe switch the cross of your legs back so it'll feel a little more comfortable here. And then twist for our last round. 2 more of your own slow, steady breaths. Inhaling to sit tall and then exhaling to find a deeper twist if it's there. Use your inhale to bring you back through center and then your exhale to twist again. Last time. Let the shoulder melt down. And then unwind the body facing forward again. From here we'll come to standing, and as we change positions here, just check that you have some room at the back of your mat. We'll be traveling a lot, facing forward as well as facing back. So make sure if you're at the back of that mat, it's not too hard for you to turn and look if you need to, but hopefully you'll be able to follow just by listening as well. So planting the feet down, I'm gonna face you because that's easier, but you can face the top of your mat or whatever works. Press your feet down right underneath your hips, and let's test the balance just a little. Shift weight forward into the toes. Let the heels float just a little bit or maybe even a bit more if the legs feel strong today. A strong, steady gaze right down the tip of the nose to the floor can really help ground you here as we're balancing. Set the heels back down. Now rock the weight into the heels. Notice how the body first wants to lean back, but then has to compensate by leaning forward and engage your belly muscles. See if the toes lift a little bit or a lot. Press both feet down. Good, rock the weight inward a little bit to balance things out if that's what's happening for you. I know that's what's happening for me. Rock the weight outward a little bit if that's what you need to do to balance things out, but find an equal weight distribution throughout the whole foot. And now we'll flip into the left foot. Start letting the right leg get light. Pick the right foot up any amount. It might mean the toes still tuck. Imagine you're hugging this right thigh bone right into the hip socket. Good. Belly is strong and gaze is steady. We'll breathe here. 3, 2, really feel the thighs engage. And here's 1. Set the right foot down. Equal pressure again, equal weight. And then keep the right foot down. Lift the left leg up. Experiment with your balance here. Good, make the legs strong. We'll stay for 3, 2, 1. Shift the weight into the left foot, equalize the weight, and then pick up the right foot again, staying with the left. This time, maybe let the arms come out or even up to the ceiling. Your body really, really long here. We'll stay for 4 more breaths. Steady gaze. One more time. Good, set it down, let the arms come down. And then rock into the right foot, lift up the left. Arms go wherever you like. They might even reach up for a challenge here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Set the feet down, and then if you're not there already, start to walk towards the top of the mat. And right away, as we move to our sun A's, think about the vinyasa that you choose. We usually, you'll hear a cue for chaturanga, upward dog, or lower yourself to the floor, whatever. There's lots of different options here, but I want you to kind of think about the one that will work for you today. Maybe even try it out the first couple rounds of sun A, and then see if you can maintain that same vinyasa as we stick through our practice. And that's the intention. It doesn't mean it can't change. It just means something to think about. We have a lot of them today, so you may want to choose something that's a little easier on the wrists or the shoulders. So standing tall at the top of the mat, let's find mountain pose. Stack the head right above the neck, the shoulders right above the hips. The tailbone draws towards the floor slightly. And from here we move, breathe in and reach up. Take an exhale and fold over your legs, soften into the knees. It's the first one here. Let's take an extra breath. And as you inhale again, lift halfway up, hands to shins. Plant your hands down. Here's the start of what your vinyasa might look like today. A big step back, and then you might lower all the way to the floor. From here, a cobra or an up dog would work really well. Today, I'm gonna tip my fingertips off the mat, draw my hands back and let my elbows be high, and then peel my chest up, taking a spider cobra variation. That feels really good in my body. You take what really feels good in yours. Lower your chest back down, and then find your way towards a downward facing dog. You're always welcome to take a child's pose along the way, or at any point, you can substitute child's or another shape as we stay in this down dog, about 3 more breaths. And spread the fingers wide. Let the arms be straight and strong with the knees as soft as they need to be. And then look forward, travel to the top of the mat. Lift halfway when you get there. Forward fold. Reach up, extended mountain. We'll keep flowing with the breath out. Maybe the arms sweep. Take your halfway lift here. Move through the vinyasa of your choice. Completely your option here. Try to find a heart opener of some sort, and eventually we'll land in downward facing dog where we pause. Let the head hang heavy between the upper arms. Soften through the neck. And one more full breath. And look forward and travel to the top of the mat. However it suits you. Forward fold as you exhale. We'll take one more sun A. Breathe in and reach up. We'll travel right back down as you breathe out. Try to follow your own long, steady breath here. There's a halfway lift. Start to move through your vinyasa. Allow yourself strength and control. Maybe find a little more ease with each repetition. Make sure it's something you can sustain. Breathe in and out as you land in downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Enjoy the sound of your own breath here. Feel the space in the back of the body. And take one more round of breath. And look forward, travel to the top of the mat. Lifting halfway when you arrive. Take a forward fold. Breathe in and reach up. Exhale, let the hands plant to the heart here. Keeping weight in that right foot, we'll lift up the left leg and take a big step back. Left toes are going to point out, right toes point forward. Let's find warrior 2. The shoulders right above the hips. Just notice if you feel yourself pulling forward or back. Sometimes this movement feels really good in the lower back. So stillness or that little shift for another moment. And then exhale and settle into the legs again. As you breathe in, reach up, straighten both legs and pivot the toes to the side of the mat. Exhale as a goddess squat. Let the toes turn out again. Shift your feet if you need to. It's great for the ankles, great for the foot bones. Breathe in and reach up again. Now exhale and face the back of the mat with your warrior 2. Soften through the shoulders. Move through the lower back if that feels good today. Let the hips open a little bit here. Feel your exhale when it comes. Then use the inhale to lift the back heel. Reach both arms up. Now you're in a high crescent lunge facing the back of the mat. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, let's step forward to the top of the mat. Good. From here, we're going to start to make a big circle around the mat. So rather than the right foot going back, the left foot is going to go back this time. The right foot is forward again. Same side is leading, but we're facing the back of the mat. Same shapes here. It's warrior 2. Good. Exhale into the legs. Breathing in, pivot, reach up, 5-pointed star. Exhale as a goddess squat. The arms go wherever you like. Breathe in and reach up again. And as we exhale, we'll transition warrior 2 again. Notice you're facing the front of the mat this time. Next breath in is crescent lunge. Pivot and reach. Step forward. Set the right foot down. That means the left leg will go back. Actually, no, let's switch legs. Let's pick the right foot up and send the right foot back. Yeah, conscious leg switch at the beginning here. Warrior 2. Breathe in and reach. Goddess squat. Inhale again. Back of the mat with your warrior 2. Good. With an inhale, find the crescent. Let's pause a moment here and feel the hip flexor stretch on the left side. Go ahead and knit the front ribs together. Maybe roll the wrists. Take a big step forward. Find your feet. Good. Now switch feet. The right foot goes back. Warrior 2. Inhale to reach. Exhale as a goddess. We're not changing these shapes at all. We'll just start to find more fluidity and maybe a faster pace from warrior 2. High crescent. Stepping forward, pause. Now the left leg goes back again. Warrior 2. Inhale and reach. Let the hips open in your goddess squat. Find length and strength through the legs. Pivot to the back of the mat with your warrior 2. Follow your inhale for your crescent. Just the breath in now. Step forward and stand tall. The left foot goes back. Step back, settle into the legs as you exhale whenever it comes. Use your inhale to reach and lengthen. Goddess squat, really feel the feet pivot. If they have to step a lot, no big deal. Breathe in and reach up. Warrior 2, front of the mat. And inhale takes you to a high crescent. Let's keep moving here. Right foot goes back. Warrior 2. Inhale and reach. Exhale and squat. Breathe in and reach. Warrior 2, back of your mat. Find your high crescent lunge. Lift the back heel. Step forward strongly. Now here's where we switch feet. So the left foot stays. The right foot steps. Good. If you find that rhythm, follow your rhythm and your pace. Not changing anything at all here. Just building heat and moving around the mat. From crescent, we step forward. Let's take one more full round. So the left foot goes back. It's warrior 2. Reach up and lengthen as you pivot to the side of the mat. Goddess squat. The arms go wherever it works. Reach up. Warrior 2, back of the mat. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, step to switch feet. Left foot back. Inhale and reach. Following your pace, it could be a little slower, it could be a little quicker. All the way up. Warrior 2. High crescent. One more side. This right foot goes back. Warrior 2. Reach and lengthen. Bend the knees. Reach up again. Face the back of the mat with your 2. High crescent. Then step. Switch to travel, right foot back. Warrior 2. Find some length. Feel your legs. Drive the heels down as you reach. Keep pivoting the feet. It's going to help as we transition through these different flows. Step forward and stand tall. Let the thumb knuckles find the heart. The feet may be just a little wider than hip distance, so you feel stable here. Notice the beat of the heart, the heat of the body. Good. Heading in, our vinyasa from here, your vinyasa from here. Breathe in and reach up. Exhale and fold over the legs. The breath in takes you halfway up. Plant your hands and travel however you choose. Moving through the vinyasa that you've chosen for this practice. Some heart opener. And then a downward facing dog. We'll breathe in and pick this right leg up. Finding familiar shapes now. Step the right foot forward, dial the left heel down. Windmill the arms to warrior two. Taking a breath out just to stay. Inhale to re-lengthen. This part we know. Reach up. We'll start to add on here. Pivot to your high crescent lunge and take a breath. Very good. Start to send more weight forward here. So the knee might start to creep out in front of the ankle. If that feels okay on your knee, it's good, it's okay. If it doesn't feel right, stay back. But what I want you to feel is a hip flex or stretch the front of this right hip. Good, let the arms open up to goalpost here. Lift your heart. Reach up, evening everything back out to this crescent lunge. Step forward onto both feet. And we'll take an in-breath here. Start to lift this right knee, cross it over the left, and sit into a figure four chair. Pausing here for a moment. The hands to the joints, or a little support with your wall or your furniture that you might have close. Now from here, let's start to move. Pick that right leg up again. Send the right leg back, warrior three. Let the hips level out. Take an inhale, up dog in the chest. Stay here as you breathe out. And then again. One more inhale right here. We'll use the exhale to move. Bend into this left knee. Set the right toes down. We're finding a skandasana towards the front of the mat. So the hands can stay down. The toes pivot to the left side of the mat. Don't worry about if they're in line or what the space is or how high your hips are. Just let this transition feel good in your body. Pivot to face forward again. And from here, your flow. So the leg can go back and there might be a chaturanga or to the floor. Find your heart opener. Let the heart drop. Push the ground away. Downward facing dog. The left leg lifts. Send it forward. Draw the thigh to the ribs. Keep the hips high to make that transition to warrior two. Then when your inhale comes, reach and lengthen. Goddess squat wherever it feels good. Find length and space again. Warrior two, you're at the back of the mat. Find your high crescent lunge. We'll start to locate that stretch again. Feeling the front of the left leg, the left hip flexor. If it feels okay, use the back toes to send the knee slightly forward. Keep drawing this right hip back and this left hip forward. Goalpost the arms. Maybe the heart lifts a bit more. A full in-breath here. Start to transition out of these variations, finding a stable and steady crescent lunge again. Step forward, finding that chair pose for a moment. And then lift your left leg. Cross your left ankle over your right knee, finding figure four chair. Stable and steady. Feel the stretch in the outer left hip. Good, start to sit up again. Lift the left knee. Send the left leg back. Warrior three, pressing the hands to the heart will really stabilize this shape, but feel free to take the supports that you need. Follow your inhale here. Then we'll move with the exhale. Set the left toes down, straighten the right leg, pivoting again to this skandasana. The hips can be low, the hips can be a little higher. The toes are facing the right edge of the mat, unless they're lifted. Pivot forward, and from here we move your vinyasa, strong and light. Pick up that right leg again with an inhale. Step forward and stamp the feet down. Remember, finding tons of repetition today. Your goddess squat is next. Using the full inhale to reach, then just the exhale to settle into warrior two. Right away, spin to this high crescent lunge. This time we're not here long. Step forward, this time chair pose, but we're going to add a twist towards the left. Now bring your hands to your heart and sit a little deeper. Draw your right shoulder forward and your left shoulder back. If it feels okay here, you can bring the elbow to the knee. Notice the right knee wants to creep forward, draw it back. The elbow could even cross the knee if that feels good in your body today. Start to leave the twist, and as you come up, bring the right leg with you. Send the right leg back towards warrior three. We'll take an in-breath here. Then right away, travel with the exhale, Skandasana. Maybe the hands stay where they were. Pivot towards the front of your mat and take your flow. Finding a breath to match each movement. An inhale or an exhale. Left leg goes up, step it forward. Travel here. Using an inhale to lengthen. An exhale to squat. Feeling the legs today. Back of the mat with your warrior two. High crescent. Now step to chair pose. We'll find our twist again. Set up the feet, maybe a little closer together. Bring the hands to the heart and start to draw the right elbow back. Check in with the knees, make sure they're in line. Maybe the left elbow meets the right knee, or even comes to the outside of the right knee. Stay for 3. 2, equal weight throughout the foot. 1. Unwind the twist, take the left leg with you. Warrior 3 is here. Moving out with an exhale, Skandasana towards the front of your mat. Pivot and flow. If that vinyasa has begun to come too much, you can always skip it and go right to downward facing dog. The right foot comes up here. Step it forward, draw the thigh to the ribs. Now start to focus on the transitions. You know the shapes. Make more out of the space between them. Notice each movement and each breath and see how evenly they can match. Spinning to the back of the mat. Step onto this left foot. We'll find our figure 4 chair again, but add the twist. So a little more balance might be required here. I'm gonna spin to face you a little bit. Hands to heart. And then start to keep the twist high. So the right elbow forward and the left elbow back. A little bit of a hinge in the hips. Good, strong and steady gaze to the floor. Left side body really strong. So you're drawing the left side of your body back to deepen the twist. Good, you might even start to take your right elbow towards your shin, right shin. Notice how that feels if it works for you today. Now let's unwind the shape. Send the leg back, send the arm back, warrior 3. Keep cheating with my wall here. It's not cheating. And then plant the foot, Skandasana. Transitions between the movements being even more important since we're now comfortable with these shapes. The left leg goes high as you breathe in. Step it forward. Again, feel the arms unwind. We know these shapes, don't have to think about them as much anymore, so start to notice different things. What's the side of your body doing? Where are you gazing? Step onto the right foot, we'll cross the left ankle over. Find your figure 4 chair. The hands press to the heart. And then twist, right elbow back. Gaze to the floor, maybe sink the hips. Maybe this left elbow starts to draw closer to the left shin without compromising dropping elbow a whole lot. Right side of the body squeezes. Start to unwind the shape. Send the leg back, reach the fingertips back, warrior 3. Exhale, Skandasana. Pivot, and then send it back. Feel your body move through each and every shape. Notice the breath traveling as the body travels, right leg up. Pull it in, step forward. Wide across the collarbones. See if you can keep that space as you're reaching and lowering the arms. Walk the feet wherever they need to. Stepping onto this left foot, figure 4 chair again. This time we start to add on even more. So if that deeper twist was where you're at today, that's fine, stay there. I'll offer you a slightly different variation. We'll start to, let's leave the twist out actually, the deeper twist out. And we'll take your right hand towards the floor or your furniture or something stable if the floor is too far away. Take your left hand to your back. Now, if the twist feels okay, you'll start to draw your right shoulder more towards the floor and your left shoulder more towards the ceiling. So you're gonna feel the hip stretch a whole lot and the stability of your fingertips on something and a little bit of the twist. Good. If you feel comfortable here, maybe let that hand float, or even deepen the twist by taking your hand to the bottom of your right foot. It's just another moment. Good. Slow and careful. Start to unwind everything. We come back to warrior three, your variation of the arms, whatever you want them to be. Keep that arm as you move to Skandasana. Plant the hands and take your flow. Left leg comes up. Firm step forward. Notice the sides of the body here. Can you lengthen more away from the hips? Maintaining that length even as you're bending the knees. From high crescent. Step onto the right foot, cross the left ankle over. Good. If the deeper twist is where you want to stay, go for it. You might take the left fingertips towards the floor instead, and the right hand to your lower back. Then you start to twist a little bit from here. Left shoulder down and right shoulder up. Feel the hip stretch. Soften the touch of the left fingertips. Then if you're feeling really, really steady here, see if the left hand will float and maybe find that left sole of the foot. Good, it's just another breath. Start to make your way back up. Warrior three is here. Bend into the knee, find Skandasana, top of the mat. Good, we'll add on just a little bit more now. Keeping the same shapes we've been working with. Focusing on the transitions between those familiar shapes. Pick the right leg up. Keeping warrior two strong through the belly. Let the tailbone point down. Reach up and then goddess squat. The legs are gonna feel it. Take your warrior two to face the back. Find your high crescent. Good, figure four chair. Adding in as much of a twist as you like here. So the left arm can reach back, the right fingertips can reach down. We're not here as long. Start to unwind the shape here. Back through warrior three. Plant the foot. Pivot to the top of the mat. Find a low lunge position. Now start to walk the fingertips forward and lift the left leg. Plant the left hand down to the floor or to your block or something that's supportive. Reach your right arm straight out to shoulder height. We're working towards a revolved half moon. Maybe the right arm starts to reach up and you find the twist here. So the hips are square, but the heart starts to open up. Take a full in breath. A full exhale, maybe deepen that twist. Good, then let the hand and the foot come back down. There's a forward fold. We'll vinyasa from here, halfway lift. Start to send the feet back in whichever manner is working for you now. Reassess. Change or skip if you need to. Left foot lifts. Draw the foot forward. Tailbone stays down as the arms and legs move. Find your fluidity between the shapes. We're not settling in any of them very long. Figure four from here. Adding in this twist, left arm to left foot, right arm up, maybe fingertips to floor. That gives you stability. Start to unwind. Left foot goes back. Skandasana at the top of your mat. Pivot. The left foot stays where it is. Both hands step forward. Good, now the right hand can find your block or the floor. Completely your option. You might even turn the block up nice and high to give yourself space. Reach the left arm straight out from the left shoulder. Turn the right toes down, the right heel up. Maybe that foot lifts to hip height. Then if you want more of a twist in this revolved half moon, you can certainly find it here. Gaze can shift or not. Looking down gives you a ton of stability. Next, exhale, we'll leave the shape. The hand and the foot come back down. Breathe in, lift halfway up. Exhale and move. Let's add on one more piece. Taking a deep inhale. Sorry, to reach. Following your breath as you travel through these shapes. Hopefully finding little a little more in each shape rather than just getting bored with the repetition. Spin it to the back of the mat. Take your figure 4. And this time reach fingertips towards the floor. Feel the hip stretch for 3, 2, focus on the hip. 1, slow, smooth transition through your warrior 3, whatever shape it looks like right now. Skandasana, let the hips melt. Pivot towards the front of your mat. Walk the left hand forward and lift the right. So revolving this half moon for a breath. Now bend into the right knee. Start to bring the left foot to meet the right so you're in this twisted chair shape. Good. Now lift the right knee. Unwind the twist. Cross the right ankle over the left knee. Find this twist again. Now from here, I'll give you a couple options. So if you're still working this twisted shape and the balance on the one leg is the challenge that you want today or that works for you today, stay here. If we're deepening the twist, I'll give you an opportunity to work towards the arm balance here, grasshopper, sometimes called dragonfly. So let's start by taking the right tricep to the sole of the right foot. If it's the elbow, it'll kind of work, but the higher up you can get on your arm, the better. Then crawl your fingertips to the floor. Walk them to the left side of the mat. Both hands are about shoulder distance apart. Start to draw the elbows closer and bring your shoulders forward. See if the back foot feels light and you can stay right here. Or eventually start to kick this left leg out. Inner thighs working a ton. Slow and steady, start to unwind the shape. Plant the foot down. Release everything to a forward fold. Crossing the legs might feel good. Start to unwind the feet and lift halfway up. Plant the hands and travel back. Vinyasa that you've been using this whole practice. Notice if it feels different, better, harder, stiffer, smoother. Good, left leg lifts here. Careful transition each and every time. Goddess. Warrior 2, back of the mat. Crescent. Step. Cross the left ankle over here. We focus on that outer hip stretch. So we're not taking the twist just yet. Let the fingertips find the floor or your furniture and really sink the hips back and the heart forward. Start to make your way back up, finding warrior 3. Use the exhale to transition, Skandasana. Whoa, front of the mat. Good, from here, revolved half moon, right hand down. Left leg lifts and heart starts to spin open. Now careful transition, bend into the left knee. Bring the right foot to meet it. Open twist in your chair pose for a breath. Start to lose the twist. Pick the left leg up. I'm going to turn to face you. Cross the left ankle over the knee and find the shape that's going to challenge you in a good way today. If you want to play with the arm balance, if that would be fun for you, go for it. If you want to just stay in the deep twist and balance on one leg, that's a great challenge too. If the hip stretch felt good, go back to it. But if we're going for the arm balance, take the left elbow past the left foot. So the triceps on it or even towards the armpit will make it even easier. So you notice it's a huge deep twist here first. The fingers can come to the floor and just stay there. This is a good challenge and actually a great stretch. If you want to get your hands on the floor and your feet up, pivot your fingertips towards the side of your mat and start to bend into your elbows. So now you're standing on your left arm with your left foot. Get light in the back leg and then maybe kick it out. Good. So the right arm isn't really supporting, there's no part of the body touching the right elbow, but you're standing on this left arm. Steady gaze, round through the upper back. Make the legs work here. They're not just dead weight. And when you've had enough, let's lower it down. Unwind the body to a forward fold. Crossing the ankles might feel good. It might have worked. And start to unwind the legs if they're not there already. Take a step back with the left foot and drop the left knee down. Walk your body up to a low lunge position. Let the top of the foot meet the mat. Let the hips drop just enough so that you feel the stretch in the hip flexor without compromising the low back. Turn on the left glutes a little bit here. So keeping this front body opening in the leg, let's add that front body opening of the upper body. Pick up the ribs, start to lift the heart up. Good, goalpost the arms again, let the elbows bend, and shift your gaze up. Stay here, or we'll find the bind behind the back. Interlace the fingers, straighten the arms. Good, the gaze can always shift down for balance. And take one more breath where you are. And start to slowly unwind this shape. We'll switch sides any way that you like. Full vinyasa if you want. You can kick the leg up and step forward. You can step back, coming onto your knees. One way or another, the left foot comes forward. Low lunge on this side. The hips melt. Feel the right hip flexor stretch. Then start to lift the ribs up, tip the shoulders back, and goalpost the arms. Keep drawing the right hip forward, engage the right glute, get stable in the left foot, maybe draw the left heel towards you without moving it at all, just that action. And then find your bind behind your back if you like it. Keep lifting out of the lower back. So there's some belly work that happens here too. Soften a little bit into the hips if that feels okay for you. If you can still maintain stability in the shape. And then slow and careful, we'll start to release, switching sides again in the manner that works for you here. If you're feeling like a little bit of fun, take a little hop, drop the left knee down. And this time staying upright with the hips above the left knee and strong and stable in this right. If you have something to help you with stability, it might come in handy here. So what we're gonna do is bend this left heel, pull it in towards your glutes, then reach back, see if you can catch that foot. Square your shoulders forward again and pull your heel towards your glutes. If you feel a lot of pressure on your kneecap, walk your right foot forward slightly and roll forward a little bit. So you're off the kneecap and you're on more of the muscular part of the thigh. Go ahead, your balance support can be here or reach back with the other hand. Draw the elbows towards each other. I'll give you a gentle stretch in the shoulder as well. If you're after a really intense stretch for the front of the thigh, you can stay where you are. Or if you want a really, really intense stretch, walk towards your wall and bring your foot behind you onto the wall so your knee comes really, really close. Move carefully because it is an intense stretch. But if you run or do a lot of squats or something, sometimes you just need that front body stretch. And you can take this King Arthur kind of stretch against the wall. Just move carefully. If you're not there already, we'll come back to a lunge and then switch sides. So the lunge might have been the place to stay. Again, if you're looking for some fun, hop it up. Might feel good, might not be the challenge you want today, that's okay. Finding a stable lunge to begin. You got your wall or something close by if you need it. Pull the right heel close to the glutes, feel the hamstrings engage. Reach back with the right hand, pull the right foot close to you. This is where that strap might come in handy if the arms aren't long enough today. It's also okay to just maintain that reach for a few breaths and then let the foot come down. If you feel good and stable here, you can work further into the shape, differently into this shape by taking both hands to the foot. Good, and this is a great front of the thigh stretch. Again, you can walk forward with the left foot, rock forward more onto the muscular part of the thigh if the knee is giving you trouble. And if you have a wall or a couch close by and you want that more intense thigh stretch, again, walk the shin to the wall or let it come right to your couch and then very, very carefully start to sit up. You're gonna feel it right away. You might only need to come a little bit. You might not need to be sitting on the wall at all or leaning against the wall at all. So you're stable in whatever shape you have landed in. Take 2 more breaths. And if you're not there already, let's make our way to that low lunge again. And this time we'll come to a kneeling position on the mat. toes tucked. And if you start to need a little more support under the knees, just roll up your mat a little bit and take your knees to it, and it'll give you a little cushioning. Drop your hips towards your heels and take your left hand to your left heel. Reach your right arm forward and around and then up, finding this flowy half camel shape that I think you've probably seen before. We'll drop the hips down to the heels and take the right hand to the right heel. Reach the left arm up and over. So let's flow through this shape. Notice if you need more space between the knees. Just keep moving side to side for a few breaths. It doesn't have to look like anything in particular. Just notice how it feels in your back and in the front of your body. Good. Come back to wherever you started. So left hand to left heel. And then all the way to standing. Walk the knees and the heels in a little bit closer now. Finding a more traditional camel shape first, let's bring the hands to the heart. Lift the ribs away from the thighs. Maybe look up. That might be where you stay. If there's a little more today, we'll start to lift up a little bit more, using the thumb knuckles to the sternum to remind us to lift from that space. Draw your shoulder blades down on your back, and this is a great place to stay. We have 2 more breaths. You could always reach your arms back if that suits you here. It's not much time, so don't worry about it if not. Just slow and steady, start to lift up and take a seat on your heels. Walk the legs a little close together, so hip distance or even less apart. You might notice that you need more space as we start to come back to a camel on one side. And if you need that space, go ahead and take the knees wider, wherever you feel stable. So from here, we'll start to work into that single-sided shape that we kept flowing through. So keeping the lift of the ribs here, start to reach back for the left heel. If it's not within reach and you have that stable thing like a stool or a book or a block or a piece of furniture, reach for that instead. So you've got the heel or you've got your stable thing, and start to square the body forward again. Reach your right shoulder, right arm right out your right shoulder, and this might be where you stay. Just lifting and squaring everything can still be a lot. If you like, you can reach the arm up or even back. You'll start to feel yourself maybe tip a little more towards this left shoulder. And if that feels okay in your body, don't worry too much about it. You might work more towards squaring and see how that changes the shape, changes the sensations. And if those are sensations that you need, if they're not painful, if it's a good stretch, you can keep it. But work towards stability in the shape. Let it suit your body here. Really feel it out. And slow and steady, start to come back onto your heels and take pause. Actually, I read something interesting the other day that taking classes online rather than in person with a physical assist really is teaching us to pay attention to our own bodies and explore the shapes on our own rather than being adjusted into a particular shape or having everybody else around you making the shape look a certain way. So this home practice is a great opportunity to explore how shapes feel in your body. Bring your support to your left or right side if you need it. You can always set it off the mat if you don't. Let's start to come up again. Reach the right hand back towards your heel or your support. Then square the shoulders forward and reach the left arm forward. Hips above knees as much as possible. You can reach up here or even back. If you notice that tipping into the right shoulder, if it feels okay, if it's still stable, it's good. Pay attention to the sensations. Notice if you're really dumping into this right hand, get lighter there. Notice if the heels have started to splay out and draw them in. There's another breath or even 2 here if you're feeling stable and strong. And then as you become ready, we'll start to sit towards the heels again. Unwind the mat if you had it folded, and then take a seat. Coming back to this cross-legged position, this easy seat. Sit up tall and breathe. Now from here, start to hinge from your hips, bring your hands in front of you and walk your fingertips forward, taking a forward fold in this easy seat. As the fingertips reach, the hips are going to want to lift. Try to keep them down and only reach as far as allows the hips to stay down. Shift a little weight side to side. Just notice if that offers you some stretch and some relief in the lower back. And as you like, start to come up. We'll draw the left leg long and pull the right knee in close to your body. Wrap both arms around that knee, give it a hug. And then from here, release the left fingertips to the side. Reach your right arm up. Reach your right shoulder inside your right knee and see if the left leg is within reach. You can catch the shin, the ankle, or even the foot. A strap around the sole of the foot, or grabbing two ends of, a belt or a long sock. That would work here too. Square your shoulders forward, maybe lean into the fold a bit. This is a great place to stay. I'll give you a couple more options just if you want them. So with the shoulder inside the knee, you can start to reach the right fingertips long off the mat. So now both arms could be long and you could fold forward this way. And then finally there's the bind. If the shoulder bind is in your practice, feel free to take it. Thumb goes down, hand reaches for the hip. If the fingertips are within reach, go for it. Mine aren't within reach, so I'm gonna come right back out. Finding the shape you can sustain that feels good for you here. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath. One more. And then carefully come up. Let's switch sides. Now the right leg goes straight. Pull the left heel in, the left thigh to the ribs, and give it a hug. Release your right fingertips straight out from your right hip. Breathe in and up. And reach inside the leg. So we actually want a little space between the inner thigh and the foot. You're not super close here. Catch the ankle or the shin if it's within reach, or the foot if that feels good. Feel the shoulder and the knee making contact here. And you've got your same options. You can stay here. You could reach the arm long, really feeling the press of the left shin and the left shoulder. Or if your bind is within reach on this side, thumb goes down, reach the back of the hand to the left hip. See if the right hand is within reach, and if it is, take that bind. And stay smart about it. Not wrenching our body into a particular shape, just breathing there and seeing what shows up. You can fold further, but you can also sit up more. Good. 3 more breaths. Start to release this shape. Let's take a straddle fold. So you can face whichever way you like. I'm going to turn to face you. Taking the legs out to where they will go. And sit up tall. Hands behind the hips for a moment. Pick up the heart. Then neutral spine. Hands forward. And a little at a time, begin to walk yourself forward. Hinging from the hips. So the hands come forward and breathe. Then maybe the hands come forward more. Keep your back flat and breathe. Good. From here, you might deepen the shape. Hang out in the place where you start to feel your inner thighs stretching. There's a little length in the back of the legs, and there's a little power here in the thighs. Let the back stay nice and flat. Resist the urge to really round forward a whole lot. Enjoy the space that you can find in your body. Enjoy the strength that's there to support it. Now over the next 5 breaths, super slowly, we'll start to come back to seated. So here's 5, maybe you don't move at all. 4, you might start to walk the hands back. 3, and continue walking. 2, you're almost sitting up. And last 1, you're in your tall seat again. And let's take the right arm inside the right leg and the left hand to the left hip. Press down into your left leg as you start to find that side body length. Good, slow and steady. Let's take the same thing on the second side. So left arm inside. Press your right hand into your right thigh or your right hip as you find that side stretch and reach. So you might not get as far as usual, but hopefully you'll feel it more in your lower back and your left side. Draw your right shoulder back and up. And then start to sit up. Let's make our way onto our backs. Starting to settle into the last couple of shapes that help us get ready for rest. So if you have a routine, you have a couple of shapes that close your practice, feel free to start to work into those now. From your back here, let's draw the shoulders down underneath you. Stretch your legs up into the air for a moment. This might be where you stay. If a shoulder stand might be in your practice today, let's bring the thighs in towards the ribs, lift your hips, rock your knees towards your face, and take your hands to your lower back. Let the whole hand plant there. So the hips are starting to stack in the direction of the shoulders. They're not going to be right over the shoulders. Plant your shoulders down into the mat and let the weight be in the back of the arms. You can extend your legs. You don't have to. Keep the neck steady and the gaze upward without turning side to side. So if you feel like you have to look, come all the way down before moving your neck. And if the legs are lifted, let's start to let the shape change. It might be coming down. It might be dropping the toes in the direction of the head, making it look a bit more like a plow pose. You can release the hands to the lower back if the toes are touching the ground. If the toes aren't touching the ground, please keep that support. Moving slow and steady through whatever variation might suit you here. And then as you become ready, we'll start to lower the spine back onto the mat so the hips go down, the back of the body's on the mat again. Draw the knees towards the chest, let the knees open up wide. Soles of the feet to the ceiling, reach inside your legs, and then find the outsides of the feet or the shins and take happy baby pose. So your feet are flexed and the soles of the feet face the ceiling. And you're pulling just a little bit on the legs so that the shins come closer to your ribs. Root the tailbone back down into the floor here. Take one more breath. And as you lower the legs, bring the soles of the feet close. Rest the feet on the mat and let the knees open up. Take one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Follow a few breaths here, noticing where the body rises, where it falls. Just observe the pace without really trying to control it or change it. And you can start to settle into your Shavasana right here in this position, or change it to whatever might suit you here today. Extending the legs, coming to the side or the belly, whatever works. And find that final resting shape and stay exactly where you are. Allow your body to melt and surrender onto the mat. And start to scan that body, this body. How does it feel now compared to the beginning of practice? Now, where can you find space? Where can you feel strength? And for a moment, only a moment, reflect on this practice and notice all the fantastic things that this body did today. Now take a deep breath in. Exhale and let the practice go. Let the practice go. But keep that sense of awe and enjoyment and appreciation for what the body can do, what your body can do. And give it a few more moments of rest here. You are more than welcome to stay in this rest as long as you have time for, as long as you want to. As you become ready to move again, first allow the breath to deepen. Consider how you want to step off this mat. Can you keep that appreciation of what your body can do? And when you're ready, start to move just a little bit again, rolling the wrists and the ankles, stretching the body out long. And then when you're ready to join the world again, sit up tall, taking that easy seat, just one more time. And we'll take a round of breath together. You can move if you like. Taking an inhale here, let the lungs fill completely. And then as you breathe out, let the lungs empty completely. From where you landed, take one more breath in gratitude for this body and this practice. Thank you for practicing with me today. Great job. Let me know what you think. It's been great to hear from people as we practiced online about them watching previous videos or they just watched one that's uploaded. So I appreciate that very much. Thank you so much for those comments. And have a fantastic day, fantastic weekend.